Hey everyone, it's Kris with Tabletops and Tentacles, and it's time to GROK the game. This episode, we are not exactly covering a tabletop game, we are covering a tabletop accessory. Dwarven Forge's new Kickstarter, Wildlands, is live, and it is a series of tabletop terrain for role-playing games and skirmish encounters. So let's check it out. So Wildlands consists of 3 distinct biomes that it takes place in. It has terrain for each section, and they do have some fairly distinct difference in appearance and vibe between the 3 different biomes. 2 of them are expansions from previous Kickstarters that they've done, the Dread Hollow Forest and the Aranthor Mountains. They've also expanded to add Blackmire Swamp, which is my personal favorite. I think it looks super cool. It's got all sorts of carnivorous plants and cool like vines and neat trees and stuff. I think the swamp one's super awesome looking. Every piece in the Wildlands collection and everything Dwarven Forge does are hand sculpted. That's a big thing to me. I'm a big nerd about that type of stuff in particular, and it's really exciting to see what they've done with it. As sharp and crisp and perfect as the lines can get with CG carved stuff, there's something about that hunk of clay and the little details that you can pop into that as you're sculpting. I think it adds a little spontaneity to it, gives it more character, and I think it adds a certain depth of character to every single piece that they do. And these 3 new biomes that they've done are no exception. I think the swamp in particular looks amazing, but the Aranthor Mountains look really cool. So they hand sculpt all of them, then they cast them with steel high pressure molds into what they call dwarvenite, which is sort of a semi-solid plastic that's basically indestructible. I have a buddy that does a lot of vinyl toy casting and that kind of thing, and he has an idea of what the plastic is, and it's got a little flex to it. It's got a really high durability, but it also does pick up detail really nicely, especially with the system they use for the injection molding. They look really nice. It picks up a lot of the detail of the sculpt, and I mean, as you can see from these pictures, they look fantastic. The rewards. So there's not a real clear-cut path with this. I'm not going to go into it too in-depth because there's so much ground to cover, literally. There are a humongous variety of options here. There's a ton of add-ons. There's a lot of different things that you can tack money onto to get, like foggers and just insane things, LED light add-ons. They're adding stretch goals that are add-ons every day, as well as stretch goals that add to different pledges. They do have some starter packs that just have like a scattering of terrain. They also literally have scatter terrain for skirmish war games in different packs for filling a certain size board, which I think is a really nice touch. This is the first time they've really focused this heavily on skirmish war games, and I think it's a really good move on their part. You can also go as big as everything that fills like a whole friggin' table with all of the different biomes and all of the different stuff. They offer them in painted and unpainted versions for different price points. So there's a lot to go into. They do explain most of it fairly clearly on their website, and they have links to all of that in the Kickstarter. And I'll have links below for all of that as well. But it is a lot to cover. If you're interested in it, definitely dive in, dive deep, and see what all of the different options are. If it's anything like their previous ones, there will be some flexibility as far as what you pick up once their pledge manager's active and that kind of thing too. You can add to it, you can change your pledges, presumably. But it's a lot of ground to cover, and it's not cheap, but it's really cool. The good. Obviously, the sculpts on these are gorgeous. They're modular. They have a lot of like really cleverly designed things. They've added battle boards that you can put the terrain onto to add a little bit of depth to them. They also design for height so that you can stack things really easily. There's floating mountain things that also turn around to become stalactites. They're beautifully designed. They're incredibly durable. The hand-painted versions that I've seen look phenomenal. And there's not a lot that isn't good about this Kickstarter. They're amazing looking terrain, whether you get the hand painted or you paint it yourself for a certain look. And you really can't go wrong with it if you're looking for something that is durable, beautiful, hand sculpted, hand painted, ready to take out of the box and put out on the table. They're using magnets on it now so that you can preset things out and then plop it down in front of your players. It's super innovative and yet really old school, and I love them. The bad, pretty much just the price. These are hella expensive, guys. I mean, we're talking thousands and thousands of dollars if you really want everything they're doing for this Kickstarter. I think it's worth it. I genuinely do, but it's so far out of my price range that even the little starter sets are fairly spendy enough that I'm struggling with it. They're doing amazingly. They're up over 2 million right now, so there's plenty of people that are willing to shell out, and I believe that they are well worth it. I only have a couple of little pieces of Dwarven Forge that I've gotten from a buddy, and it's amazing stuff. It's got this great durability to it. The texture and detail in it because of the hand sculpting looks amazing, but you do pay for that quality. The team there is super passionate about what they do, and it shows, but they're also artists, and artists deserve to be paid. The rep. So Dwarven Forge has got about as impeccable a reputation on Kickstarter as you can get. This is their 8th Kickstarter. Every one of their Kickstarters is funded. Everyone has had a tremendous amount of backers, and for the most part, as best I could tell in researching them, they deliver on time or close to on time. They are fantastic at keeping people updated throughout the course of the Kickstarter. Their pledge managers are fairly clear and concise considering the sheer amount of content they're covering. And they're really active on social media and in their comments pages. You really can't go wrong with the reputation on these guys. There's nothing in the background or in their history to indicate anything but that this is a secure pledge. You can trust them with your money, and you're going to get something super cool out of it. So, final verdict on this is an amazing project. It's super cool. If you have the money to get it, you will not be disappointed. I have to give this a Tabletops and Tentacles ampersanticle of approval. Go check it out. Links are in the description below. As always, if you'd like to support our channel, you can subscribe to Tabletops and Tentacles at tabletopsandtentacles.com or join our Patreon, where you also still get the magazine. This is issue 1. We just got the print proofs of this. We are ordering them from our backers now. They look awesome. We're super excited about it. And like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll be back soon.